Did I scare you? Hi gamers, how's it going? Tonight is a very spooky All Hallows Eve. Gotcha! Like my costume? Tuggle you. Now tonight I think that we are going to do something rather spooky scary. I was going to copy what Fam did and read some spooky scary stories. My ears are poking out. Yeah, 'cause I gotta have somewhere to go. Can I put on more RGB? I don't know if I can. If I smile, it goes rainbow. But we're not doing very much smiling tonight now, are we? So, in the spirit of copying Fam, I was gonna read some SCPs. If you guys have any
Subscriber get!
SCPs you would like me to know about, you can suggest them to me. I was gonna read... Oh, thank you, Salam! Thank you, welcome back! Thank you for 5 months. What a true gamer. I was gonna read the r/no sneep, but I don't know if I'm allowed to. I realized that there might be like copyright stuff, you know? Yeah. If you want to suggest the SCPs. Oh yeah! Send them me. Hi Magnuma, how's it going? I hope things are good, you guys. I know it's been a while. I was away, and I was gonna tell you all about it, but I wanna do spooky, scary Halloween stuff. Yeah, please, Fam, send to me. Oh my god, you sent me such a gleeby little guy. Fam sent me a gleeby guy too. He's very gleeby and very cute. Okay, but I was just gonna do from the top rated pages. So here, this is this. I got streaks. This is what I'm starting with. And I missed you guys, by the way. Not that I like you guys or anything, Baka. Okay, ready? SCP-173. Object Class Euclid. Item SCP-173 is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer than 3 may enter at any time, and the door is to be relocked behind them. At all times, 2 persons must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the container. Move to Site 1993. Origin is as of yet unknown. It is constructed from concrete and rebar with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. The object cannot move while within a direct line of sight. Line of sight must not be broken at any time with SCP-173. Personnel assigned to enter a container are instructed to alert one another before blinking. Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull or by strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 hazardous object containment procedures. Personnel report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported to the acting HMCL supervisor on duty. The reddish-brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood. Origin of these materials is unknown. The enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. Ooh, that's the end. What is that? Thank you. Never got too deep into SCPs, but I like the Christmas town in Texas. Ooh, at me. I know, it's really terrifying. The reddish-brown substance is my meal. Yeah! Strangulation. Well, there's a reason it's the most popular one, right? But what is it? Is that the one in the game? Oh, I need perceiving access. I requested perception. The statue! Oh! He's that guy! Potatoes Hazard. Yeah, he's the guy, the baby guy, right? I know about him. Whoa, what the heck is this? It's just a bunch of pictures. This one's fun. Oh, he hug. He take. And then he gone. That's the end of that one. The not deer one is scary. Okay, let me see. I must have access before I can look at the list. Hey Adam! How's it going? Ooh, okay. Ooh. This one's really long though. Here, maybe I'll find a shorter one. Whoa. I wish I would say... Oh! Here you go. SCP ___ dash J. Special containment procedures. In the box in my office. Description: it's a rock that makes you procrastinate. Addendum: probably memetic or something. I'll finish writing this up later. Are you terrified? Okay. Ah, yes, now I can see it. Ha 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 ha. Alright. It was the... I want big spooky. Big spooky. Not deer. Alright, not deer. Here he is. He is Keter. Did you read this one? I feel like I remember. Containment of SCP-6448 should be focused on investigation of deer exhibiting anomalous traits within and around the Appalachian area. All civilian sightings of SCP-6448 should be attended to by Mobile Task Force Gamma-4 Green Stags. Possible deaths resulting from SCP-6448 should be attributed to hiking accidents, and sightings are to be blamed upon chronic wasting disease. The Site-44 Cryptozoology Division is tasked with ongoing research into the not deer phenomenon. Should an SCP-6448 instance be captured, it is to be brought to Site-44 for containment and study. SCP-6448 is an anomalous branch of the Cervidae family. I don't know how to say that. All members of this group display heightened intelligence and are presumed to be sapient. Many specimens exhibit some form of physical malformation, causing them to stand out from non-anomalous deer. While the exact details of physical abnormalities differ between instances, repeat commonalities are as follows: legs bent backwards, barrel-chested, bloated abdomen, emaciation, eyes belonging to unrelated animals, forward-facing eyes, jerky movements, loss of fear towards humans, tendency to walk on two hind legs, general bodily disfigurement. Aside from physical disfigurement, instances show severe divergence from the behavior of other cervids. Namely, SCP-6448 are known to observe, stalk, and pursue humans, often for hours or days. This includes following humans to and from their homes, wherein they will proceed to steal belongings, weapons, and food. Very rarely will SCP-6448 attack victims while they are indoors. SCP-6448 are most commonly encountered in deep woodland, particularly at night or dusk, when a person is alone. Any form of direct acknowledgement of SCP-6448's anomalous traits in these situations will always result in the victim's termination. In such situations, personnel are to observe the extract of service protocol attached to this file immediately. Presently, SCP-6448 are known to inhabit only the Appalachian region of North America. It has been crossed out. Under review following Incident 6448 Alpha. Oh my god, dears. Think of you. This is my spooky outfit. Deer stole my wallet. Spooky, scary clown that send shivers down your spine. Okay, sorry, I wanted to make sure I'm reading your guys' comments along the way too. Lurky, because you're on the way to the movie theater. Are you gonna watch something spooky? Big Mouth Billy Bass is my favorite SCP. He's an SCP! Based on a recent urban legend. Ooh, what is that one? Deers! Deers are so spooky. Okay. SCP-6448 was officially assigned anomalous classification in 1980, though they have been recognized by local people since 1947. SCP-6448 is a firmly cemented figure in Appalachian folklore, known colloquially as the knot deer, due to their striking similarity to the species they imitate. Many locals claim to have encountered instances of SCP-6448 or possess knowledge of an individual who has. The majority of local communities living in rural areas of high activity are aware of the precautions required to avoid hostile encounters, primarily due to urban legends and stories involving the entities. SCP-6448 were previously researched at Site-41, located in Redacted, North Carolina. On 11/1/1994, a group of 3 SCP-6448 instances broke into the site, utilizing a tunnel system carved over an extended period of time. This triggered containment breach alarms, and the site entered lockdown protocol. The single instance kept in containment, being prepared for dissection, was lost in the breach and not recovered. Over the following decade, a further 5 SCP-6448 instances would be captured and contained, all of which would escape the site through tunnels carved by other SCP-6448 entities. The decision was made to transfer all instances to Site-44, overseas, to prevent further breaches. Since this decision, no capture attempts have been successful. That was crossed out. The first reports of SCP-6448 surfaced around the week of 7/7/1947. In the time since the genus's discovery, many members of the public have encountered the entities, though most accidentally stumbling upon them to not alert local authorities. This is typically due to the SCP-6448 instance either merely watching the subject or becoming hostile. The following is a log of all recorded 900... Oh. 911 calls. I was about to read it as 911 calls. Related to SCP-6448 phenomena since the year 2000. Also, you guys, I'm sorry if I'm nasally. I got a cold. Oh my god, she's terrifying. I posted an SCP article in the Discord. Okay. They made so many calls. Alright, I will read some of these, but maybe not all of them. We can move on after some of them. Let me see what is the most scariest one. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna read this one. Why are we able to catch a cold but not a worm? I know, right? I didn't realize you could see my mouse. Ooh, it's scary. Let me shift this guy off to the side. I know, it's the scariest thing in the world. The mouse is left on the screen! Are you guys scared of rodents? Ghostly cursors? Because I want to read a few of them. Victim, age 35, female. Dials 911 using a satellite phone, distressed. They state that they are in county woods and are being followed. She claims that despite seeing no one for the duration of her hike, she feels as if she's being watched and has heard someone walking behind her at various points in the trip. The victim is unable to give an adequate description of her location, but knows the route to return to her residence. Operators request the victim return to a point wherein she can provide a sufficient geographic description of her position. The victim remains on the line for a duration of the hike back to a readily used portion of the wilderness trail. Along the journey, various unnatural sounds can be heard. These include footsteps, rock slides, coughing, whispering, and whistling. Near the main trail, all woodland noises such as birds and wind cease suddenly, and the victim states she can see a malformed deer carcass coated in a thick layer of a black slime-like substance. At this time, human screams can be heard in the distance. Operators request the victim continue and ignore other stimuli. Agents embedded in local law enforcement suspecting SCP-6448 involvement notify Gamma 4 to the situation. 20 minutes later, the victim returns to the main trail. Gamma 4, now operating the 911 call, informed the victim to not respond to any further unusual activity and briefly outlined service protocol. For the duration of the victim's journey to her home, 2 sets of breathing are audible. The victim successfully returns to her residence and shuts the door behind her. Now out of sight from SCP-6448, agents inquire upon the victim's address, and the victim promptly complies. Operatives instruct the victim to have possession of all firearms and weapons on the premises, and to barricade herself inside a safe space with one exfil point. The victim swiftly begins grabbing all available weapons and throwing them inside a wardrobe. It is at this time that there is a knock on the front door. The victim does not respond and continues to hoard sharp objects from the kitchen drawers. The knocking becomes more violent as the handle is being jostled and shaken incessantly. A voice on the other side repeats the phrase, "Hello, it is me. Hello, let me in a calm manner as the door begins to shake. The victim retreats to her wardrobe, armed with a small firearm. Upon sealing herself in the space, the knocking ceases and footsteps can be heard, decreasing in volume. The sound of galloping is audible as the front door caves in. Hoofsteps can now be heard inside the home. The entity continues to repeat, "Hello, it is me. Hello, let me in," as it searches the small building. A bright light flashes overhead, seemingly circling the house. Eventually, the entity enters the victim's bedroom. Through a small slit in the wardrobe door, the victim can see a Cervus canadensis standing on its hind legs and surveying the room. Its movements are crooked and stiff, seeming to struggle to stand in a bipedal fashion. It slouches down to a quadrupedal crouch, similar to the stance of an arachnid. It inhales heavily, and its head locks on the view of the wardrobe. It is noted as possessing human eyes. It scampers towards the subject and opens the door. A single gunshot is heard. Responders found no trace of either SCP-6448 or the victim. Okay, I'll be right back. I need to go blow my nose. Hello. I would never try to jump scare you guys. Okay, I remember reading this one, or I remember Fem reading this one, so I want to read a new one. Ah! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you this time. Oh, my ear. Okay, hold on. Blah. Oh no, I popped my ear. It won't pop. Opposite. Around this time, I always listen to copypastas about people missing in the mountains or skinwalkers. Headphones still hurt the ears. No, the headphones are okay now. When I blowed my nose, it made my ears not pop or pop. Opposite. I don't know. I want to read this one. Wait, fam, which one do you think is the most scary? Did you read this bunny one? I want to read the bunny one. Okay. Oh yeah, this one seems good. Or is this... What is this? Is this the Barnicula? Oh my gosh, there looks like a lot of words I may or may not be able to say right. Alright, ready? Item number 1793. Object Class Euclid. SCP-1793 is to be kept in a small mammal containment cell at Research Sector 71. Gravimeters are to be installed around this containment cell. SCP-1793 is to be fed with veterinary-approved rabbit mix, vegetables, and other appropriate nutritional and medical supplements. Objects made by SCP-1793 are to be removed from SCP-1793's containment cell for analysis and storage. Due to the non-harmful nature and the repeated persistence of their manifestation, SCP-1793 is to be allowed to retain a small number of items. SCP-1793 is a male instance of Oryctolagus cuniculus, European rabbit. The entity is approximately 9 years old and is showing signs of agent aging consistent with its species. Additionally, SCP-1793 suffers from pulmonic stenosis, a structural defect of the heart. SCP-1793 has been assigned a veterinary practitioner to prevent potential containment failure. SCP-1793 is capable of causing the manifestation of objects at will through spatial anomalies. During the manifestation process, these anomalies continually emit Cherenkov radiation, primarily in the purple-blue range of visible light. The anomalies have a gravitational mass proportional to the mass of the manifested object. Mechanical and electrical devices take approximately 15 minutes to manifest, foodstuffs approximately 30 minutes, while copies of existing cultural items appear almost instantaneously. Manifested objects are typically functional and in good condition. SCP-1793 is also able to manipulate nearby objects without physically interacting with them. While in containment, SCP-1793 will typically cause the manifestation of objects for recreational or aesthetic purposes, such as exercise devices or paintings. If feeding is delayed, SCP-1793 will manifest food items, typically vegetables. Chemical analysis of the foodstuffs show that fibrous content is greater than in wild varieties, while nutritional content is lower. It is believed that SCP-1793 could not survive subsisting on a diet of manifested food. SCP-1793 was recovered from a farmhouse near Whitby, United Kingdom. The recovery was made following an inquiry into the resident farmer's and his family's death, having been shot by the farmer's own shotgun. SCP-1793 was found wearing a collar with a low-power radio beacon attached. What? On 1996-227, several of the spatial anomalies associated with SCP-1793 manifested in and around Research Sector 71. Objects created during the event included a single King Edward photo, 82 copies of the painting Nighthawks by Edward Hopper, and 3 FV-4034 Challenger 2 main battle tanks. During the same incident, gravimeters measured a spatial anomaly inside SCP-1793's containment cell with gravitational mass of approximately 100,000 kilograms. After a period of 47 hours, during which SCP-1793 remained awake and motionless, a sheet of rough paper with printed words was produced. The following is a transcript of the print. Sippy. I am sorry for the confusion. It is difficult to concentrate. It is difficult to write as well. I am a rabbit, you see. I'm sorry for the farmer. Family for a family, I thought at the time. Seeing him eat my wife and child, you can understand. After the mess, I met a man. Well, he wasn't a man. The three heads gave that away. He gave me the means to live out my last days in comfort before my weak heart gives out. He told me he would find suitable wardens to care for me as I die. I don't know if the criminals should choose their punishment, but from what I'm told, this is the nicest prison for those like me. If you ever see him, tell him I say thank you before you lock him away. Oh, and thanks for the carrots. They never do get those right. Ooh! Hi, Scotella! Candy! I am just Ghost only and Rabbit. That was a good one. What are you guys up to? We're reading spooky stories. Getting day. I wish my ear would pop. One sec. I have a little bit of a cold. I'll just blowing my nose again, okay? That was a fun one. Oh, these new ones. Okay. I will do the Sneep Killer. Ooh. Ooh, he's scary. Okay. Ready? SCP-966 Euclid. MTF Iota-1 Dream Hunters and MTF Iota-2 Air Chasers are to regularly be on the lookout for news about sudden, violent human deaths related to sleep deprivation in order to find and neutralize remaining wild instances of SCP-966. The 4 specimens of SCP-966, 3 males, designated SCP-966-1, 3, and 4, and 1 female, designated SCP-966-2, acquired by the Foundation, must be contained in a 10 by 10 meter room made of steel lined with lead, located on site. 2 security cameras with infrared filters and infrared sensitive film are to be installed inside the room. Each specimen of SCP-966 is to be fed with 20 kilograms of meat every month. In the event of SCP-966-2 giving birth, the newborn specimen is to be studied and disposed of before it reaches maturity. SCP-966 are predatory creatures that resemble hairless, digitigrade humans, possessing an elongated face with a mouth lined with needle-like teeth. On each hand, they have 5 claws that can be up to 20 centimeters long. Although sharp, these are easily broken, making them unfit for combat. SCP-966's height ranges from 1.4 to 1.6 meters, and they can reach up to 30 kilograms in weight. Physically, SCP-966 are weak, possessing hollow bones and low muscular density. They do not seem to rest through sleep. Instead, they will suddenly cease all movement at seemingly random intervals of time, resuming normal activity 3 to 5 minutes later. SCP-966 are only visible at wavelengths ranging from 700 nm to about 900 nm. This applies to all of SCP-966's tissues. If their skin, muscles, or organs have suffered from 2nd to 3rd degree burns, the affected areas will be visible at wavelengths ranging from 360 to 900 nm. I don't know what nm is. SCP-966 feed on medium to large-sized animals, including humans. They hunt either alone or in pairs. Their hunting methods consist of emitting a single burst of a previously unknown type of wave, dubbed waves in honor of the late Dr. which permanently inhibits the ability of the affected creature to enter any of the NREM and REM sleep stages. The ability to microsleep is also lost. The effective range of the waves is up to 20 meters, However, tests show that they can be blocked by post-transition metals, particularly lead. All attempts to make victims of SCP-966 sleep have failed. It is still possible to induce other forms of unconsciousness, although these will usually prove detrimental to the affected subject, as they do not provide true rest. After depriving their victims of sleep, SCP-966 will stalk their prey until the lack of rest incapacitates it. At this point, SCP-966 will proceed to consume it. SCP-966 have proved to be very agile and silent while stalking their victims. On occasion, they will deliberately make threatening noises around the prey in order to further stress it, and may even physically assault if the victim proves to be particularly durable. Other than the common symptoms caused by sleep deprivation, some victims of SCP-966 have shown signs of suffering from extremely vivid hallucinations, as well as sudden bouts of rage with no apparent external stimuli. It is currently thought that these are the effects of prolonged exposure to waves. Why SCP-966 continually exposes these waves to only some of their victims is unknown. One hypothesis is that SCP-966 will only do this when starving, since it further degenerates the physical and mental state of their prey, incapacitating it at a faster rate. Wild instances of SCP-966 are found all around the world. Since their discovery in 19... the Foundation has succeeded in greatly thinning their numbers, although they are still found in large quantities in many countries, particularly and I wonder if I can see what these are. No, they're just Unicode characters. Ooh, infrared. And M is infrared? 1 minute. Achoo! Just kidding. Okay, I'm gonna go look at what you sent for the spooky. Ooh! Alright. I'm gonna read the 4 SCP. Okay. 3799. Object class, safe. No access. Wait, is this right? This doesn't seem right. One sec. Is it right? 3799. Is this it? 3799. Okay. This is the right one. It's composed of snow? Is this the right one, Grace? Maybe. Is this the right one? It looks very plain. I'm not sure if this is the one you meant. Number 11. Burger King. They are invisible to human vision. Don't visit. They have too many creepy crawlies. Okay, let's look at... What's the one everyone knows? Too spooky. Tower. The child hungers. I want to read about the child. Ooh. Alright. I might need to take a break in between paragraphs because I keep having to catch my breath. Okay, ready? SCP-4290. All available military assets are at the site of SCP-4290 ceiling and are prepared to use any means necessary to neutralize the anomaly. Mobile Task Force Alpha 1 Red Right Hand, Mobile Task Force Tau 5, Samsara, and Mobile Task Force Nu 7, Hammer Down, have been outfitted with experimental Paratech weaponry and are situated within SCP-4290's containment perimeter. Grids of nuclear mines have been planted in the vicinity of the sealing site, prepared to detonate if Foundation assets are destroyed. The Dagaz Break orbital strike system has been enabled in the event of a breach past the containment perimeter. Emergency shelters for civilians and selected Foundation personnel are being prepared in the event that containment measures fail. The probability of failure is undetermined. SCP-4290 is a Class I eschatological entity that was thaumaturgically sealed approximately 10,000 years in the past. Its seal is expected to break in the next 7 days. The site of the sealing, SCP-4290 Lock, is in Qinghai Lake at a depth of 32.8 meters from the surface and is constructed from 8 beryllium bronze totems. The totems resemble armored humans, engraved with networks of banishing runes and arranged onto the points of an 8-fold fractal pattern carved into the lake bed, 20 meters wide. Bursts of red light are periodically released from its center. These have intensified in brightness over the past month. Information on SCP-4290 has been recovered from SCP-1726 and other such anomalous record sources. A translated excerpt on the entity from an unknown writer is below. The child rose its 10 mouths to the heavens, stretched wide 20 arms, and ripped the umbilical cord from the sack on its head. The warrior surged to its legs, hoping to tear those newly born limbs before they could move, but from the mouth spilled torrents of darkness and dead geometries. None could flee. Reality rippled with the warriors, stretching along its folds, and the darkness crunched into their skulls with flares of scarlet. The child wheezed, dragging skeletal fingers through the dead and the land around. The fingers retracted. Flames burst, then subsided. Wax rained, then dissolved. Then the island, its warriors, and every soul still left melted into the darkness. For 10 days the child drank it. All the world trembled. On February 8, 2022, televisions in Qinghai Province and outlying areas abruptly displayed images of an entity matching SCP-4290 rising over a melting cityscape, with an androgynous voice telling viewers to repair the child's locks. This has repeated in frequency, with the voice shifting to say, "There is little time left, repair." Investigation led to the discovery of SCP-4290 Lock. Efforts into finding means by which SCP-4290 Lock could be reinforced were launched. Searches of SCP-1726, undercover excursions into the Wanderer's Library, and the ruins of specific far-past civilizations found that this is not the first time the seal has needed repairs. Civilizations including the Erikashans, the Jia dynasty, and ancient Orthans have strengthened the seal with sacrificial rituals and the engraving of new runes onto the totems. The last group to have performed this were the Daivites, shortly before their culture was destroyed, circa 270. The Foundation Department of Occult Containment arranged for the rites and engravings to be performed. A submersible containing the ritual setup and remotely operated underwater vehicles with carving equipment descended to the center of SCP-4290 Lock on September 8, 2022. However, halfway through the performance of the ritual, a red light burst accompanied with the release of high levels of gamma radiation and heat occurred. Radiation damage caused the ROVs to accidentally damage existing ruins, and the interruption of the ritual led to only 2 cadavers and half the heart to vanish as planned. Television broadcast repeated later that day, its voice now stating, "The sacrifice did not reach the 10 Ma's brace." At 1 o'clock, several personnel stationed at Qinghai Lake acted against Foundation orders and fled the area. One of the involved agents, Agent Zenobia Marinos, left the following message on a piece of paper in their quarters before leaving. "Do we actually think we can stop this? No civilization before us wanted to fight the child. None of them. Hell, Jia had tech better than anything we've got, and even they were afraid. The sacrifices won't work anymore. It refuses to consume them. They aren't enough to satiate it. Once that seal breaks, we'll have a world of molten darkness, and the child will be all that's left, eating, drinking. You're fools for staying." The activation of ways to extra-dimensional spaces was detected nearby. Tracking is not considered a priority. Seismometers have detected a series of high-energy seismic pulses radiating from directly under SCP-4290 Lock, consistent with models on the effects of dimensional distortion on the terrain. Red light now encompasses the entire ceiling site, and the totems are observed to be crumbling. Personnel are advised to wait and prepare. Well, I might have been saying the dates backwards. On August 17th, 2022, the totems comprising SCP-4290 Lock disintegrated. Military assets assembled at the shore of Qinghai Lake, and 10 minutes later, a 40-meter-long, emaciated humanoid organism matching the descriptions of SCP-4290 phased out of the ground and onto the seabed. Orders were sent to only fire once activity was observed. Personnel waited 2 hours. After a further hour of waiting, ROVs were sent to SCP-4290, followed by an expeditionary crew equipped with Lambda-modeled thaumato-hazard suits. Dozens of human corpses and hearts used in the sacrificial repair rituals rested on the entities' mouths, none having been consumed. No thermic radiation, psi-wave emissions, or any other signs of activity were registered. All life functions in SCP-4290 had ceased. Insight autopsies were performed. Based on these, the entity is estimated to have died approximately 9,000 years ago. The cause of death was determined to be malnutrition. SCP-4290 has been reclassified to neutralized. That was a cool one. I like that one. The footnote. What's the footnote? Where was that? Eh? Where was... Oh.
Follow, get!
The ritual said... Hi, sad boy! I hope you feel better. Welcome! Oh, it's the ritual setup. The ritual setup is 3 human cadavers and the live heart of an angel. The materials would vanish on ritual completion. Wow! I was trying... I was pretty sure I didn't say them right, but I tried my best.
Subscriber, get!
Thank you! Wow, my eyes aren't working after staring at the white screen. I need like a dark mode. Do I have dark mode? What's my favorite ice cream? Gonna be here for a bit. I got Tekken tournament. Good luck at your Tekken tournament. Thank you, Kinder. I'm sad. I'm gonna miss the stream. Oh, I'm sorry. It's so late. I did start it really late. Thank you for coming and thank you for sub. Wah. An angel heart. That doesn't sound too tough to get. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, one sec. I like these. Sorry, I sniffed in the microphone, didn't I? I sniffed you guys. They're stinky. Don't tease me! I'll make sure I mute. I like that one a lot. I like the ones that are like, you can't even fathom what this thing looks like. Hamina! Have I played the new Pokemon? Not yet, but I need to. I was gonna do it today, but then I was like, I want to do spooky stuff. Hi, Nos, how's it going? Yeah, I was really trying my best to say all the thingies that I did not know how to say. Alright. I'm gonna do, what's the most scariest? I'm gonna find it. Let's do with many voices. I like the spooky ones. Thank you, Jake! Jake, you're such a Chad. You're not a Jake, you're a Chad. Always donating to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Thank you so much. It is time for very spookiness, okay? Hi, Zelda! How's it going? I must never learn. Okay, there's lots of numbers in this. I'll try my best. This is SCP-939. Keter. SCP-939-1-3-19-53-89-96-98-99, and 109 are kept in cell 1163A or 1163B. 10 meters by 10 meters by 3 meters containment chambers. Oh, thank you! Look at that! For the 15! Oh my gosh, you guys are a bunch of chads. Should I wait until after the story to read those? I'm sorry. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Grace! Oh my gosh, you guys are the best. I don't know if I have... Does it not do the notifications for... I'm sorry if I didn't
Subscriber
say it.
get!
Oh, there we go. Jump scare. Boo! Thank you so much! Alright. Let me read this again.
Subscriber get!
Ah, thank you, Louise! You guys, you gotta stop being so cool for a second. I gotta read the... Oh my gosh, you guys, I gotta read the story. You gotta stop being so cool for a second. Thank you, Aglam! You guys are the best. Alright. I think it might do the notification. Eh? Okay. Oh no! It took off my cool... It took off my cool effect, I realized. It's okay, I'll fix it. I'll wait until after it's done. You gamer! I have not read 701 here. Let me see what that is. Maybe I should turn off the fun stuff for the stream. 701. It's okay. It's supposed to be funny. Ooh, he's spooky looking. I'll read him after. Alright, let me fix my spookiness, scariness. Did I, where is it? Where? Did I, where? It was like this. Then maybe it was like this. I didn't really save it. Oh, wait, that was right. The setup. I should have saved it. Is this spooky? This is pretty spooky. Yeah, this is a spooky. Yeah. Okay. We're back to peak spookiness. Let me save it as a new one. Spooky. Alright. We're back to being spooky. Alright. The effect is actually really spooky. Yeah, glitchy. Glitchy, scary, spooky, trees. I didn't say what my favorite ice cream is. I like cookie dough. What do you guys like? Okay, back to the serious matters. Spooky scaries. 10 meter by 10 meter by 3 meter containment chambers within armed biocontainment area 14. Both cells are environmentally regulated and negatively pressurized, with walls constructed of reinforced concrete. Access to these cells is regulated by an outer decontamination chamber and inner gas-tight steel security doors. Observation windows are constructed of laminated ballistics glass 10 centimeters in thickness, protected by a 100,000 kilovolt electrified mesh. Humidity is maintained at 100% at a temperature of 16 degrees Celsius. Specimens are monitored at all times via infrared cameras. Level 4 authorization is required to access SCP-939, their containment areas, or the observation chambers. SCP-939-101 is dismembered and stored in cryogenic preservation tanks 939-101A to 939-101M within Bioresearch Area 12. Access to SCP-939-101 requires authorization by 2 Clearance Level 3 personnel, one of which must be present for all research and testing. The contents of only one 939-101 tank may be accessed at any given time. Core temperature of SCP-939-101 tissues must be monitored while removed from cryogenic preservation. Should core temperature exceed 10 degrees Celsius, tissues are to be returned to their corresponding tank and all testing suspended for a period of 72 hours. Barring core temperature exceeding 10 degrees Celsius, research of SCP-939-101 tissues may continue as long as its ramblings and pleas for release may be tolerated. Ooh, what's that? Containment cells should be cleaned bi-weekly. While this takes place, SCP-939 specimens will be transferred to the adjacent cell. During this time, the cell's door and observation window must be inspected for damage and repaired or replaced accordingly. Heavy sedation of all SCP-939 is required before any interaction, including transfer between cells and experimentation, may take place. See Document 939-TE4 for transfer and experimentation protocol. Level C hazmat gear is to be worn by personnel during interactions with SCP-939 specimens and in any areas which SCP-939 have been known to inhabit. Afterward, standard decontamination procedures are to be observed by all personnel involved to ensure no secondary spread of amnestic agents occurs. Following Incident ABCA-149393, all non-Class D personnel interacting with SCP-939 for any length of time are required to wear 2 waterproof electronic pulse monitors for the duration of such interaction. These pulse monitors will transmit to a wireless monitoring system independent of a facility's main power grid, with at least one backup power system on standby. Should both an individual's pulse monitors flatline or otherwise malfunction, the wearer will be presumed dead. Personnel instructed to disregard all the wearer's subsequent vocalizations, and a breach of containment declared automatically. Security personnel responding to such a breach are likewise required to wear these pulse monitors. Additionally, all live SCP-939 must be implanted with subdermal tracking devices upon capture. SCP-939 are endothermic pack-based predators which display atrophy of various systems similar to troglodytic organisms. The skins of SCP-939 are highly permeable to moisture and translucent red, owing to a compound chemically similar to hemoglobin. SCP-939 average 2.2 meters tall, standing upright, and weigh an average of 250 kilograms. The weight is highly variable. Each of their 4 limbs end in 3-fingered claws, with a 4th opposable digit, and are covered in setae which considerably augment climbing ability. Their heads are elongated, devoid of even vestigial eyes or eye sockets, and contain no brain casing. The jaws of SCP-939 are lined with red, faintly luminescent fang-like teeth, similar to those belonging to specimens of the genus Chaliodus. I don't know what that is. Chaliodus. Up to 6 centimeters in length and encircled by heat-sensitive pit organs. Eye spots, sensitive to light and dark, run the length of their spined dorsal ridges. These spines may be up to 16 centimeters long and are believed to be sensitive to changes in air pressure and flow. SCP-939 do not possess many vital organ systems. Central and peripheral nervous systems, circulatory system, and digestive tract are all absent. SCP-939's respiratory system is atrophied and serves no apparent purpose beyond spreading AMN C227. SCP-939 have no apparent physiological need to feed, nor any way to digest consumed tissue. Ingested material typically accumulates in the respiratory system of SCP-939 and is regurgitated once the amount is sufficient to markedly inhibit its function. Despite the absence of many vital organ systems, SCP-939 are capable of bearing live young. SCP-939's primary method of luring prey is the imitation of human speech in the voices of prior victims. Though imitation of other species and active nocturnal hunts have been documented. SCP-939's vocalizations often imply significant distress. Whether SCP-939 understand their vocalizations or repeatedly previously heard phrases is the subject of ongoing study. How SCP-939 acquire voices is not currently understood. Specimens have been documented imitating victims despite never hearing the victim speak. Analysis of SCP-939 vocalizations cannot distinguish between SCP-939 and samples of known victims' voices. The use of biometric voice recognition security or identification systems at any installation housing SCP-939 is strongly discouraged for this reason. Prey is usually killed with a single bite to the cranium or neck. Bite forces have been measured in excess of 35 MPa. SCP-939 exhale minute traces of an aerosolized Class C amnestic designated AMN-C227. AMN-C227 causes temporary anteretrograde amnesia, inhibiting memory formation for the duration of exposure, plus an average of 30 minutes. It is colorless, odorless, and tasteless, with an estimated ECT50 for inhalation of 0.0015 milligrams. I don't know how to read this. In well-ventilated or open-air environments, risk of exposure to ECT50 is greatly reduced but not negligible. AMN C227 is typically undetectable in the bloodstream 60 minutes following cessation of exposure. Reported sensations of disorientation and mild hallucinations immediately following removal from environments saturated with the agent are similar to recreational use of numerous psychoactive substances and easily mistaken as such. Ooh. It doesn't care about the fluorescent lights. Amnestic? Is it amnestic? Get out of... Oh, it's a viper fish. Spooky fish. How much it takes to affect you. Oh, okay. Ooh. Containment of 9 SCP-939 specimens has been compromised following a Silent Night breach scenario at Biocontainment and Research Site 6. Nearby civilian settlements have been evacuated on the pretense of a coming storm. Recovery teams have been deployed to the area. Wow. Okay. I will read this guy. 701. You want to get bug bitey hug? No, you can't! Okay, amnestic like amnesia. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Brandy, do you have one that is like the what is it called? The Child Hungers. That one was really cool. I like that one a lot. If there's more like that one. Okay. 701. Let me take a sippy really quick. Oh, so sorry. I would. Ooh, sippy. I take another. $701 is long? It doesn't look too long. 701. Euclid. All materials relating to SCP-701 are to be kept in a triple-locked archive at storage site. These items currently consist of the 2 currently extant copies of the 1640 Quarto, 27 copies of the 1965 trade paperback edition, 10 copies of a 1971 hardcover printing, 21 floppy diskettes, consisting of data seized from raids on 1 VHS video cassette tape, designated SCP-701-19-A, and 1 steel knife of unknown origin, designated SCP-701-19-B. At no time are any of these items to be removed from the room. Access to the area is to be heavily monitored. Absolutely no personnel whatsoever is to be granted access to the archive without the express in-person permission of doctors and SCP-701, The Hanged King's Tragedy, is a Caroline-era revenge tragedy in 5 acts. Performances of the play are associated with sudden psychotic and unaliving behavior among both observers and participants, as well as the manifestation of a mysterious figure classified as SCP-701 would. Historical estimates place the number of lives claimed by the play at between and over the past 300 years. Performances of the Hanged King's tragedy do not always end with an outbreak. Of the recorded performances, only 36.78% have ended in SCP-701 events. According to historical records and investigations, these outbreaks generally follow the same pattern. 1 to 2 weeks prior to event, during the dress rehearsal period, cast members will begin to spontaneously deviate from the published text of the play. Rather than improvisation or gaffes associated with going off script, said deviations will be both orderly and consistent, as if the actors were working off a new version of the script. The cast and production crew will seem unaware of any change, and if it is brought to their attention, will state that the play has run that way from the beginning. 2 to 3 hours prior to event, the outbreak generally occurs during opening night, or else at the production with the greatest planned attendance, generally falling within the first week after the play's opening.
Subscriber get!
Mr. Ook, I can play! He's a Ooga Booga! I got you! 1 to 2 hours before event, SCP-701-1 begins to appear on stage in the final scene of Act 1, generally in the background or to the side of the main action. It may seem to enter or exit the stage area, but does not appear to ever enter the backstage or offstage area. It simply disappears when not on stage. The cast does not appear to notice or comment on SCP-701-1, at least at first. The event. SCP-701-1 fully appears on stage during the banquet scene in Act 5. Here, it will be incorporated into the action of the play as the Hanged King. The cast will either unalive each other or unalive themselves, sometimes using items that seem to appear spontaneously on stage. Rioting breaks out in the audience, with viewers randomly attacking anyone in front of them, regardless of prior relationship. Following the event, if any of the audience members survive the initial outbreak, they may exit the performance space, in which they will continue to engage in random or opportunistic violence. Victims will generally require sedation or restraint in this scenario. Normal personality will begin to return roughly 24 hours after the event. Surviving victims will generally exhibit signs consistent with a traumatic experience. Some will have no recollection of the event. Others may be rendered permanently comatose or psychotic. For typical case study of an outbreak, see Incident Report SCP-701-19-1, an analysis of the events leading up to the last uncontained SCP-701 event in 19 during a high school drama performance in In short, SCP-701 is a self-evolving memetic virus transmitted through the unknown means through the text of the play. Dr. has theorized that SCP-701 events may involve This hypothesis is consistent with a spike in levels detected via satellite in the vicinity of the incident, indicating when too much of it is redacted, it just sounds silly. Foundation agents are under standing orders to suppress any performance or publication of SCP-701 whenever found or detected. Despite our best efforts to the contrary, however, the play remains freely available online, sometimes under different titles. Does this actually exist? All attempts to detect or isolate the origin of these copies has failed. Suppression of the play's publication has been generally successful, with most copies of a 1971 scholarly edition destroyed before distribution. Nonetheless, copies of the 1965 trade paperback turn up with some regularity in both college and high school libraries. Agents are to obtain or otherwise destroy these items wherever possible. Ooh. Given the high probability of in my mind, I again recommend that SCP-701 be upgraded to Keter class. The SCP-701 memetic virus may very well be the forefront of an invasion scenario. Denied. None of the current information we have on SCP-701 indicates an XK class scenario. Until we have additional data, classification will remain at Euclid. Face facts, Doctor. The cat's been long out of the bag on this one, and in this line of business, we consider ourselves lucky if we only lose 100 or so people every 10 years. Oh my god. We did it! The scary spooky guy. Sneeze time. Achoo. That was my redacted sounds. I have tea that is cold now. Oh yeah, I'm drinking like blue tea. It's blue. I don't know why. It's just blue. Let me make sure my video is not about to end. Spooky. I mean, my not video. Scary forest must continue. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, maybe they should not do that one. Maybe they should make they should do Peter Pan. Yeah. Add the lemon juice? How come? Tastes like blue. It tastes just like a cinnamon or something. Vanilla? Wow, really? I don't think I have any though. That's cool. I just got it because it was blue. That's cool. Is it bad to drink? Wait, is it okay to drink? It tastes good. Did I read this one? No. Okay, let me see. Ooh. Was any of these new? Ooh. Twisty. Good ones. Oh. Ooh. Okay. I want a twisty one? Wait. The Child Breaker. 2006. Alright, let's do that one. What the heck? Okay. Ready? SCP-2006. Keter. SCP-2006 is to be contained at Site-118 in an airtight containment cell. SCP-2006 must be constantly monitored for changes in form, which are to be noted immediately. All personnel coming into contact with SCP-2006 are required to enroll in an acting course with a focus on expressing fear and surprise. Every month, SCP-2006 is to be shown at least one new, extremely low-quality horror or science fiction movie containing horror elements. All interaction with SCP-2006 must confirm that SCP-2006 continues to believe that said works demonstrate a superb grasp of horror. SCP-2006 is an anomalous spherical entity, roughly 50 centimeters in diameter, when in its default state. SCP-2006's stated goal is to cause feelings of fear and or horror in as many humans as possible. To accomplish this purpose, SCP-2006 possesses the ability to change its shape, mass, volume, density, chemical structure, and voice to any form that it desires. Currently, there is no known way to damage SCP-2006. The extent of its shape-shifting abilities is unknown, and is currently thought to be unlimited. Currently, SCP-2006 has demonstrated a fondness for taking the forms of various entities and villains from the various horror and science fiction movies that it has witnessed. The most common form that SCP has taken is that of Ro-Man from the 1953 movie Robot Monster. SCP-2006 is capable of speaking, even when it possesses the form of an entity that is normally unable to speak. SCP-2006 will generally attempt to startle and or scare any individual it comes into contact with, but after doing so, it will become affable and friendly. The reason behind this is currently unknown. Although SCP-2006 has repeatedly stated its goal of causing as much fear as possible, SCP-2006 is a poor judge of concepts that cause fear in humans, and constantly searches for new methods in which to accomplish its goal. This poor recognition extends to recognition of emotions in humans, as SCP-2006 is incapable of distinguishing between subtle differences in emotion that would be obvious to a human. The current Site Director for Site-118 has issued the following memorandum regarding SCP-2006. I have been getting reports of some of the lax behavior regarding SCP-2006. Many personnel have been heard laughing at SCP-2006 during surveillance when it watches a new movie or when it attempts to scare individuals. Some personnel have been heard questioning why SCP-2006 is classified as a Keter entity. I am here to remind you that a Keter entity is a Keter entity, regardless of how innocuous it may seem. No, SCP-2006 is not a rampaging demigod, nor is it a regenerating super lizard. However, it possesses the same level of danger as any other Keter that the Foundation has contained. Think of SCP-2006's purpose. It wishes to scare people. Imagine what would happen if SCP-2006 broke containment and found out what really scared people. Imagine if it saw the horror and fear of war, or the concepts of paranoia or phobias common to each and every human being. Imagine if it found the true horror of a nuclear holocaust or an XK-class scenario. Now couple that with an entity that possesses shape-shifting abilities with no known limits, and you'll understand why it's classified as Keter. All personnel mentioned above have been suitably disciplined. I do not want to hear about this again. Ooh, he could cause very scary things. Alright, I'll go to this one. Ooh. It shapeshifts into a W2 form! Ah! Job application. Sorry, I'm having so much difficile difficulties with my throat. I really wanted to do this stream. Ooh. I want to find more like that crazy one. The one with the... Oh, ooh. Let me see. The child breaker? Why am I drawn to the ones with the child? He's scary. Wait, is he scary? He's not scary. I want the scary ones. Let me see. Thank you guys. Ooh. 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 Okay, I'll read this one. SCP-3333. Keter. It was previously marked as safe. The trapdoor leading to SCP-3333 is to remain shut and locked at all times. At least one operative is to remain posted under SCP-3333 at all times to prevent entry or exit. The door to SCP-3333 is to be examined for signs of damage daily. MTF Lambda-1, Maxwell's Demons, has been created and deployed to assist in the containment of SCP-3333. Containment procedures were revised on April 2nd, 2039. SCP-3333 is a spatial anomaly located within the Suntop Fire Lookout, located in Mount Baker, Snoqualmie National Forest, Washington State, United States of America. SCP-3333 is accessible via a ladder and a trapdoor on the ceiling of Suntop Lookout. Climbing the ladder leads to an identical copy of the Suntop Fire Lookout. This identical copy has an identical ladder and trapdoor pair, which leads to further copies of the Suntop Lookout. The topology surrounding SCP-3333 is identical to that surrounding the Suntop Lookout. However, no plant, animal, or human life has been observed. Successive SCP-3333 iterations are higher relative to the original lookout. The stairs leading up to these SCP-3333 iterations are extended by a proportional amount to allow access to the ground. SCP-3333 was first discovered after restoration of the Suntop Lookout following volcanic activity near Mount Rainier. SCP-3333's origins are not known. No members of the Park Service involved in the restoration of the lookout were responsible for construction of the entrance to SCP-3333. At the time of discovery, the trapdoor to SCP-3333 was padlocked. In order to access SCP-3333, the trapdoor was forced open. No key has been found. Ooh. This is like a story. Let me see. Ooh. Okay. I'll try to read it. I don't know how long it will take. Mission parameters. Initial reconnaissance of SCP-3333. Personnel D4F68A. D4F68A was equipped with standard issue audiovisual exploration recorders. The exploration was supervised by Dr. Williams and a support team located in the temporary observation outpost inside the Suntop Fire Lookout. Test. Is this thing on? Yes. Hello? Doctor? Excellent. Please proceed into SCP-3333. Please report what you see. Well, I just came from here, but wait, it's empty. And how did it... Excellent, thank you. Please stop talking. Thank you. Please continue climbing. They ascend for approximately an hour. Alright, I want to test something. D4F68A, if you don't mind, could you try opening the door and going outside? Okay, Doctor. D4F68A opens the door. Strong wind immediately blasts into the room, throwing D4F68A back against the far wall and moving the furniture. D4F68A struggles to get across the room and eventually manages to close the door. What was that? It's probably best if you stay inside for now. I see. D4F68A continues to ascend SCP-3333. Wind is audible. There's no change in the interior of SCP-3333. D4F68A continues for approximately 3 hours. D4F68A takes a simple multiplication-based cognition test every 10 iterations of SCP-3333. No change from baseline detected. Several hours later, D4F68A rests and eats some rations. During this time, analysis of video footage shows D4F68A has climbed through 184 instances of SCP-3333. Now seems as good a time as any. I'd like you to take that test again, D467. D46. My brain stops reading the numbers. D4F68A. Alright, doctor. Administers the cognition test, no change from baseline. Climbs through 184 iterations. 673 meters of vertical gain. Subtle elevation difference is observable. It is far less than expected. Doctor? Yes? What is this for? The test? Well, I guess it can't hurt. It's to test how thin the air is. How? As the air gets thinner, your brain slows down, basically. Am I going to die? No. The test results are the same as they were down here. You're not going up as much as you should. Oh, thanks, doctor. No problem. Please continue climbing. Climbs for 4 more hours, sun sets, makes camp and sleeps. In the morning, continues ascending SCP-3333. Doctor, do you see that? What? Over there, on that peak. Are there people up there? On the ridge southwest, 2 small figures can be seen. They are standing motionless. These figures can only be seen from D4F6A's perspective. They are not visible from base camp. Are there any binoculars in here? I need to see. Give us a good look with the camera too. We need to zoom in. I found it. They look through the binoculars at the figures. Base camp attempts to zoom in on the figures with the camera. However, the resolution is too low and nothing can be made out. I can't see them. They're just out of focus. Oh God! They saw the reflection of the binoculars. The figures turn around and go behind the ridge. Are you sure? They looked right at me. I think one of them pointed. I see. Instructed to continue climbing. Deliberations are held at base camp about the figures. No consensus is reached. Continues climbing. Sorry, I just snarfed in the... Continues climbing to the 345th iteration of SCP-3333. No other figures are spotted. Camps until morning. Forgets to turn his camera and microphone on until reminded. Shortly afterwards, expresses feelings of anxiety and unease. You gotta let me come down, Doc. Something's not right here. Something concrete? I don't know, but something's not right. All this writing on the walls, and there is no writing on the walls. Well, I see something, Doc. I don't know what it says, but it's there, for sure. I see. You've made it this far. Please keep going. Continues ascending, occasionally requesting to be allowed to return to base. All requests are denied. Video footage is analyzed for writing or mimetic agents. None are found. On the 527th level, the topology drastically changes. Multiple copies of the Suntop Fire Lookout are connected to each other in a grid pattern, accessible through the lookout doorway. There is no natural light and no sign of sky or ground. It is completely dark. No lookout has a trapdoor or ladder. This isn't right! Doc, you gotta let me down! I can't see! Come down, please. You'll have an emergency headlamp, and flashlight in your backpack. Please use them. They attempt to switch on the lights. They do not turn on. Instructed to check the battery compartments. They're empty. Instructed to use backup batteries in the backpack. Unable to locate them. There's nothing in here! Nothing's right! Let me down, please! No! Please proceed. Wait. I think I see something. I see something, Doc. What is it? Nothing is visible on camera. I don't know. It's not right. Beginning to panic. Let me come down, Doc. I've got to get out of here. You will be summarily shot if you come back down. What is it you see? Camera and microphone cut out simultaneously. What happened? Did he turn his recorders off? What happened? Analysis of video footage is unable to reveal cause of communication blackout. Equipment error is ruled unlikely due to the circumstances surrounding disappearance and possibility of an unknown anomalous object in the upper portion of SCP-3333. Another expedition is proposed and approved. Wah! Okay, one sec. Okay, I will refer to them as D class. Alright. Mission parameters. Determine the reason behind the disappearance of D class. Locate any anomalous objects located by D class and identify any anomalous entities present within SCP. I'm just gonna say SCP also. MTF Mod 0. Characteristic eigenspaces. All members of MTF Mod 0 were equipped with standard issue survival gear and recording equipment. No special items were deemed necessary. All batteries and backups were triple checked. Dr. Williams supervised from base camp. Mod 1 check. Mod 2 check. Mod 3 check. Mod 4 check. Mod 5 check. Okay, everyone. Standard issue tower approach. 2 ahead, 1 in the middle, 2 behind. Let's go. All team members begin to ascend SCP. No figures are visible on nearby ridges. The sky is overcast and the wind is audible. As the MTF climbs, the wind dies down a bit by bit. After several hours of climbing, Mod 4 and Mod 2 encounter the room where D-Class attempted to exit SCP-33. The furniture is still in a state of disarray, and nothing appears to have been moved. Here seems as good a place as any. The members of Mod 0 gather and attempt to mount an expedition outside of SCP. Mod 2 is attached to a rope and exits SCP. There is no strong wind, and Mod 2 is easily able to leave. There's nothing here. Doctor? That's strange. I suppose it died down. Keep exploring, I suppose. Roger. The members of the MTF exit SCP and begin to explore. The topology around SCP is identical to that surrounding the Suntop Lookout. No plant or animal life is visible. No humanoids can be seen. The members of the MTF explore for several hours, then reconvene at SCP. There's nothing here. No plant life, though. That's strange. If this pattern holds across the world here, that could account for the stronger wind patterns. Not sure where the oxygen would come from, though. Anyways, keep ascending. We can sort this out later. Roger. The MTF ascends for several more hours and camps for the night. Their pace is slower than that of D-Class. They ascend SCP for several more days with no notable encounters. No auditory or visual hallucinations are noted. On the 4th day, they arrive at the apex of SCP. Flashlights out, everyone. What SCP are we reading? Here, I will share it. It is this one. Here is the one we are reading. Sorry, I didn't think about that. That's a good idea. Flashlights out, everyone. Members of the MTF equip their lanterns and flashlights. All are fully equipped with batteries, and backup batteries are double-checked. Apart from that made by the MTF, there is no sound and no light. Alright, 212 again. Arbitrary direction. Let's go that way. Mod 1 points at a random direction, and the MTF proceeds in that direction. Reflector markers are left for navigation. The SCP iterations are connected horizontally through their external walkway. There is no stairway down, and the rails have been removed such that the walkways can be pressed up and joined with each other. There is no sign of seam between the walkways, and no trace of man-made workmanship. Mod 2 pulls up a board at random from the walkway. There is nothing but blackness below. Mod 2 drops a glow stick into the hole. No bottom is visible. Mod 3 fires a signal flare into the air. No ceiling is visible. No sound or light appears. Do you notice anything strange? Such as any of the hallucinations reported by D-Class? Anything that could indicate what he was talking about near the end? No. No sign of the body or equipment either. Do you want us to prioritize that? I think it would be somewhat helpful if you could. There doesn't appear to be a pattern or purpose to these rooms anyway. Roger. The MTF splits up and begins a radial search pattern from the origin. This continues for approximately an hour. I found something. What? What is it? Coming. Members of the MTF gather. En route, Mod 5's flashlight cuts out. What is it? It's his backpack. Completely empty. It hasn't been torn or anything, though. No sign of a struggle. Was it propped up against the table when you got here? Yes, I haven't touched it. Good, that's not. Where's Graham? Graham? Everyone, check in. Mod 2. Mod 3. Mod 4. We're missing Graham. Do you have a feed on his camera, Doctor? No. His flashlight's out. I can't see anything. Roger. 2 by 2. I'll go with Horace. Radial pattern out from here. Right. Okay. Yes. Mod 1 and Mod 3 pair up. Mod 2 and Mod 4 pair up. They begin a radial search pattern. There is still no sound. Dr. Williams plays back Mod 5's camera footage prior to loss of communication. There's no sign of distress. The camera is transmitting, but is completely black. Mod 2 and Mod 4 fall over. There are 2 loud sounds, presumably their bodies hitting the floor. A faint dripping sound can be heard. Microphones and cameras on both cut out near simultaneously. Mod 5's camera and microphone shut off. Hello? Hello? We've lost feed on Mod 2 and Mod 4. There is another thud. Mod 3's microphone and camera cut out. Hello? Mod 1? What just happened? I don't... Where's Mod 3? I turned away for a second and now he's... Mod 1's headlamp rapidly scans the surrounding area. No sign of the rest of Mod 0 can be found. Into the darkness. Hello? I think there's something in here with me. What? What is it? Do you see words? No, I don't see anything. All 4 cameras and microphones reactivate. This is not simultaneous. It is consistent with the equipment manually being
Subscriber
activated.
get!
Hey, it's up! Thank you for the sub! It is consistent with the equipment manually being activated. Hello? Hello? The equipment's on. What the hell happened? I don't know, Doc. There's something on the ground, and they tripped, and... Where are all of you? Check in! Mod 3... Oh! Okay, wait. Mod 2 says Mod 3. Mod 3 says Mod 5. Mod 4 says Mod 2. Mod 5 says Mod 4. Mod 1's microphone and camera suddenly cut out. Mod 1, hello? I saw it too. Yes. What? Saw what? I don't know. It's spectral, like floaters. Something here isn't right. No, it isn't safe here. What are you talking about? Nothing besides a Suntop fire lookout is visible on any camera. Is there anything with you? No, it's not that, Doc. There, do you see it, Doc? Nothing is visible. No! What is it? We're not safe here. Something's not right. It's there. What is it? It looks like a. It's like a. It looks like a castle, or no, a mountain, a ghostly mountain. But it isn't. It's a flaming mountain conjured of smoke and air, a tower of smoke and ash. I see it too. We need to go. Retreat, everyone. Roger. MTF Mod 0 retreats from the apex of SCP and proceeds rapidly down SCP. Several days later, they arrive at base camp and are debriefed. They express confusion over the events within SCP and show a definite unwillingness to re-enter. Given the circumstances and the possibility of a memetic agent, a special counter-memetics operative is brought in for further exploration over the objections of MTF Mod 0. Okay, there's one... Wait, there might be two more. There might be two more. Okay, let me take a quick second. Thank you for posting those, Brandy. Do I have tomorrow off? No. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow is nothing, right? Halloween is Friday. Alright. Number 3. Mission parameters. Explore the apex of SCP and locate and neutralize any memetic anomalies or agents inside. Personnel, Counter-Memetic Specialist 0, Null Walker. Specialist 0 is a deaf-blind mute and communicates solely through a modified signaling system embedded into their hand. Standard issue rations are provided. No other equipment is necessary. Dr. Williams and MTF Mod 0 supervise the operation. Leaving base now. Let us know if you need anything. Yes. Specialist 0 begins to ascend to the doctor. I don't like this. If it was frightening enough to make your crack team turn tail and flee, it is certainly worth calling in a net. Room diff. Messy? Fight? No, that was us. Okay. A few hours pass. Someone outside, watching. They were encountered earlier. If you keep going up, am still following. Was wrong. Not watching. Something else. What do you mean? Don't know. Specialist 0 continues climbing for several more hours. At this point, Specialist 0 has been climbing for over 12 hours. Don't you need to rest? Someone's still there. Not safe. We'll use AMP. Specialist 0 consumes 100 milligrams of amphetamine and continues to ascend. Outside, can you see? No, I can't. There's a flicker of motion on the edge of the camera. Something looking through the windows ducks down as soon as the camera is turned in its direction. The wind is strong. There is no chance of going outside. They know. Specialist 0 begins to rapidly climb upwards. Flickers of motion are occasionally visible outside SCP. Small rustling sounds can occasionally be heard over the wind. Retreat, Specialist! No. Specialist 0 continues rapidly climbing. After approximately an hour, they arrive at the apex of SCP. Blood. No light. Specialist 0 starts walking. They do not turn their flashlight on. Nothing is visible on the camera. Only Specialist 0's footsteps are audible on the microphone. A loud slam is audible in the distance.
Follow, get! Hi, Computer Racer!
Welcome! Here. No hazards? Specialist 0 begins walking faster, then stops suddenly. Several small rustlings can be heard. They quickly cease. body. There's a sound of shifting clothing as Specialist Zero bends down. The rustlings can be heard again, louder and closer. Get out of there, Specialist! Annette! Several squishing sounds can be heard. Body, blood, internal organs, muscles, smooth, too soft, hard, metal. The rustlings grow in size, getting closer and closer. They surround Specialist Zero and overlap, turning into one continuous drone. Get out, Specialist! Leave it! Go! Metal words. There is a thud. Keyboard smash. Annette! Annette! Lights out. Where is light? Annette! There is a mountain. I need to come down. Where is the light? Annette! Specialist Zero's flashlight turns on. Specialist Zero is laying on the ground. The light illuminates a pile of muscles, organs, and bones in advanced decomposition. A metal dog tag is visible clutched in Specialist Zero's hands. It reads MTF Mod 5, Graham Purcell. Wait, what does that mean? Wait, what? What does that mean? So she disappeared, Annette. I thought they all got out. Did Mod 5 give her his dog tag? She found the previous team. But they got out. Wait, what? This team was Mod 5. So the team that's with him is not... The team that's with him is scary. Right? Message received 2039-42. Following the events of Exploration 3, the entities inside SCP, hereafter designated SCP-3331, killed or impersonated all members present at temporary observation post 3333. No distress signal was sent, and Exploration 3 was not forwarded before its conclusion. SCP-3331 entities maintain the facade of observation and exploration, and continually requested manpower and equipment for a period of over 1 month. The ruse was only discovered when a supply assistant managed to send an emergency message before being killed or impersonated. Recontainment teams arriving at SCP found it completely abandoned. Over 50 personnel were lost. Given the large number of entities assumed to have been released, including those who did not impersonate a member of the Foundation, the Single-Purpose Task Force Lambda-1, Maxwell's Demons, has been created for the purpose of researching, hunting, and neutralizing SCP-3333-1 instances. On 2039-42, a coded message was received from Dr. Williams' cellular phone. It did not appear to have been sent from inside SCP-3333. However, the exact location has not been identified. The message contained the following log of Dr. Williams, almost certainly as she was fleeing from MTF Mod 0. For completion, this message is included. Reader discretion is advised. The following was recorded by Dr. Williams on her cellular phone while inside SCP-3333. The footage begins slightly after the end of Exploration 3. Dr. Williams is climbing upwards through SCP, camera attached to her side. She is breathing heavily and appears to be running from something. Gunshots can be heard down below. Dr. Williams climbs upwards for approximately 10 minutes, then stops to rest. She props the camera up against a table and blocks off the lower trapdoor with a chair. She sits down. She's covered in blood, visibly panicked, and is carrying a shotgun, or handgun. Not a shotgun. She looks at the camera, begins to speak, then starts crying. She continues crying for approximately a minute, then stops. They got us. It was wonderfully done. Just the right amount of vagueness. And who would dare argue with a seasoned MTF deciding to turn tail and run? Of course, I didn't know any of them closely. Who was I to say if there was anything wrong? There's a rattling sound. Someone is attempting to get through the trapdoor. Williams grabs the gun and points it at the door. Dr. Williams! Dr. Williams! This is MTF Alpha 3. We received a distress call from this outpost. We were attacked by the personnel assigned here. What's going on, Doctor? Let us in, Doctor! Stay back! I'm not falling for it! Dr. Williams, please, we will treat you as an enemy agent if you do not let us in. Stay back! Several fingers emerge through the trapdoor and begin to lift it up. Williams runs over and stamps on the fingers. There's a crunching sound and the fingers go completely flat, still trapped in the door. There's a tearing sound as they're pulled back through the door. Williams fires 2 shots through the top of the door, grabs the camera and begins climbing again. Dr. Williams climbs for approximately a minute and a half, blocking off more trapdoors as she goes, then stops to vomit and cry for about 10 minutes. Following this, Williams continues to climb non-stop for over 12 hours before collapsing. She remains unconscious for around 2 hours, then wakes up, screaming. I'm still here! I'm thirsty! I wish I had grabbed a kid. It begins to rain outside SCP-3333. Williams starts laughing. She props up the camera, then goes outside and attempts to drink. After a short period of time, she spits and comes back inside. Salty. Williams continues to climb for an hour. There's a knock on the door of SCP-3333. Williams immediately stops and pulls out her gun. She's breathing heavily and her hands are shaking. There's another knock, this time on the other side of SCP-3333. Williams turns around. D-Class is standing at the door. He's extremely emaciated and is leaning against the door. His skin is dry, cracked, and ulcerated, falling off in places, almost. He attempts to open the door. There's a simple knob lock on the door. He cannot open it. Let me in, dog. Get back! Williams backs away from the door and points her gun at D-Class. He continues rattling at the door. Please, Doc, let me in. There's no water out here. It's not... You're not. He never called me Doc. Not once. There's silence. D-Class's face goes completely slack. I never really watched him. Ever since you were a child, though. I always thought you had very pretty eyes. D-Class breaks one of the door's panes in with his fist. There is no blood. He reaches in and turns the knob. Williams begins firing. D-Class opens the door and begins running at Dr. Williams. Williams fires at D-Class 5 times. One bullet hits his leg and he collapses. He begins writhing on the ground. His skin only partially follows his motion. It is as if there is something inside of him sliding around. Williams fires 5 more times. One hits D-Class's arm. There is no blood. His arm looks flat. D-Class attempts to flip over and crawl away. His arms flap behind him like rubber. There is no support in his arms. Williams screams. There is a large writhing mass in the center of D-Class's chest. The rest of D-Class's flaps around it, entirely useless. There is a loud flapping sound from inside D-Class. Williams fires 4 more times. 2 shots hit D-Class in the chest. There is a tearing sound, and the camera falls over. Williams fires once more, and the gun clicks empty. There's a loud, dry thud. Williams picks up the camera. She appears to be in shock. Williams sets the camera down and vomits. She picks the camera up again, then points it at the corpse of D-Class. There's a large black pile slumped against the broken window. Clear gelatinous blood oozes out of it. It does not move. It appears to be dead. The exact physiology of the entity is difficult to discern. It appears to have thick, semi-transparent wings. A pile of skin lays on the ground. It is torn apart. It's... Dr. Williams attempts to throw up again. However, she's only able to retch for several seconds. There is a fetish among humans at the deepest level about enlightenment and height, about ignorance and depth. Here we are, on a castle in the sky, on a mountain in the air, the God Pillar, a recursive stack, and here at the top we find nothing, a dead world, an unfulfilled promise. I want to go home. Williams proceeds to climb for several minutes, blocking each trapdoor as she goes. She stops for a minute. She begins to laugh. I finally did it though, Annette. I'm here, Annette. Williams begins to cry. Several minutes later, Williams composes herself and resumes... I don't know what happened to my voice. Williams composes herself and resumes climbing. Approximately half an hour later, she arrives at the apex of SCP-3333. Dr. Williams turns on the flashlight. It illuminates the Suntop Fire lookout. Nothing else is visible. There is no sound or external light. Hello? Hello? A pause. William's voice does not echo. There is no reply. There's nothing up here. There never was. Floating words, a ghostly mountain. Pfft. I'd still hoped though, I think. Williams walks around the apex for a few minutes. There's just nothing here. Nothing at all. Dr. Williams sits down and props up the camera on a table. I wish I could drink. Footsteps can be heard in the distance. Oh, shit. The footsteps get closer. They're uneven and rough, heavy feet slamming with each step. Occasionally they stop, and there's a wet thunk as the person hits furniture or a wall. No. The body of Specialist Zero stumbles into view. The flesh is unevenly stretched, lumpy and disfigured. Patches have fallen off, showing nothing but the writhing body of the thing inside. The head hangs limp and flops down onto the chest. The overall body moves jerkily, with little sense of purpose or direction. Williams retches, apparently from the smell. Annette! The entity staggers into the room. Williams steps back and away, knocking over a chair. The entity swivels to look at the direction of the vibration. Something enters the head. It gains structure and form and stands up. There are scratches around the eyes and ears. The entity attempts to vocalize. A wet, gurgling sound comes out. Annette! Williams begins sobbing. The entity removes structure from the head. Its internal structure completely collapses and the head falls back. Williams raises her gun and attempts to shoot the entity. The gun is empty. Williams still attempts to shoot. The gun clicks. Williams continues sobbing. The gun continues to click. Williams drops to her knees and drops the gun. The entity gets closer. It has trouble walking, has trouble moving. It staggers, lumpy and misshapen. The torso of Specialist Zero writhes. It is as if something is tangled in a sheet, trying to get out. I'm sorry. There is a tearing sound. The flesh of Specialist Zero rips. It is difficult for the entity inside. The skin is rough, and the interior layer of fat does not want to give way. A barbed stinger shoots out through the tear and punctures Dr. Williams' skin. Williams collapses. The stinger appears to contain a paralytic agent. Specialist Zero's skin continues to rip. A large black entity climbs out, discarding the skin. It has large semi-translucent wings and a large sucker appendage on its chest. It does not have any visible eyes. Its skin is extremely thin. Organs can be seen through some viscous internal fluid, but no bones. It approaches Williams, making a rustling with its wings as it moves. It reaches Williams and thrusts its appendage into the wound. There is a sucking noise and a dripping sound. Chunks of semi-liquefied organs and bone emerge from the back end of the entity, sucked out entirely until there is nothing but an empty sheet of skin. The entity, still attached to the skin, contorts its body and slips into the wound. The skin jerks as the entity fits into it. The skin fills out into the form of Williams. The entity stands up. The entity turns off the camera. Ooh! One sec. I like that one. Thank you for all the help, Randy. Thank you guys for coming. I know that it's late, and I appreciate you coming, even though it's gotten late. I will look at this 4666661, and then that might be the last one that we do. Ooh! Okay, I think I will like this one. Let me see how long it is. Okay, I'll try to do this one because it looks cool. Okay. This will be like the last one. Skinwalker insects are a concept I haven't seen much of. It makes sense though, right? Okay, last spooky story of the night. SCP-4666 Keter. Web traffic and law enforcement channels worldwide are to be monitored for evidence of SCP activity, and particularly for cases of stalking or reports of anomalous phenomena involving families with young children. Should a Weissnacht event be suspected to be in progress, the nearest containment task force is to be dispatched to attempt containment of SCP-4666. Standard PDP VIII humanoid first contact protocols apply. Media coverage of family deaths attributed to SCP is to be suppressed or falsified to make said deaths appear as non-anomalous home invasion murders. Forensic evidence and SCP-A instances collected by non-Foundation agencies are to be confiscated and witnesses amnesticized. SCP is currently believed to be a single, exceptionally long-lived humanoid entity of unknown origin. Survivors of Weissnacht events typically describe SCP as a very tall, between 2 meter and 2.3 meter, elderly male of European descent with an extremely emaciated appearance. The entity always appears completely naked, even when observed outdoors in freezing weather. Though the nature and extent of its anomalous properties remain uncertain, SCP appears capable of instantaneous or near instantaneous travel to any location north of 40° north latitude, and possibly to any location on Earth. SCP activity occurs exclusively within a period of 12 consecutive nights every year, from the night of December 21st to 22nd to the night of January 1st to 2nd. This period is known as SCP's active phase. During this phase, in what are termed Weissnacht events, SCP will appear at dwellings in one or multiple locations north of 40° north latitude. In all known Weissnacht events, these dwellings have shared the following characteristics: isolated rural location, home to a family with at least one child under the age of 8, and situated in an area with snow cover lasting throughout the duration of the event. Weissnacht events consist of the following general progression. Nights 1 to 7, children will report seeing SCP in the vicinity of their family's dwelling. The entity will typically be observed watching the dwelling from a distance, such as across from a nearby field or the edge of a neighboring forest. In some cases, children will report waking up at night to find SCP watching them sleep through a window. Nights 8 through 11, family members, including the parents, will report sounds of footsteps coming from the roof or attic. An extremely unpleasant odor will also frequently be noticed inside the dwelling. No cause for these phenomena will be found. As a result, parents will often begin to suspect that their family is being stalked, or even that their dwelling might be haunted. Night 12. Over the course of the night, one of two scenarios will occur. The first and most common is that SCP-4666 will kill all members of the family save for one child under the age of 8, whom it will abduct. SCP will inflict incapacitating injuries to family members while they're sleeping, then herd them into a single room of the dwelling, where it will proceed to kill them in view of each other. The method of killing varies with the event, and will typically be preceded by some form of torture, which appears to serve a ritualistic purpose. In the second scenario, which has occurred in roughly 15% of known Weissnacht events, SCP will not harm the family. Family members will report hearing footsteps inside their dwelling during the night, though no signs of forced entry will be found. In the morning, children will discover presents at the foot of their beds. These will consist of toys crudely crafted from the remains of human children. The criteria, if any, by which SCP determines the outcome of a Weissnacht event are unknown. I need to take more cold medicine because my nose is getting stuffy. Okay. There are some events to describe. Ooh, yucky. An entire family was killed with the exception of one of the children who was abducted. Though specific details about the event are not available in recovered documents, it was noted that the killings presented strong paganistic elements, and that the family members had been made to suffer greatly prior to death. The archbishop who oversaw the investigation wrote that he believed the family had been killed as part of a demonic ritual. An entire family was killed with the exception of two of the children, one of whom was abducted, and one of whom, female, age unknown, escaped during the killings and was able to reach a nearby village. She told authorities that a naked man had broken into her family's dwelling during the night and proceeded to torture them. Exact method not specified in recovered documents. Upon investigation, the bodies of the family members were found inside their dwelling, hanging upside down from the ceiling. All had been exsanguinated. I don't know what that means. Well, now I gotta figure out what that means. Hold on.
Subscriber get!
Ooh, it means that you have been drained of blood. Yeah, you. I returned! Thank you for the sub. Welcome back. Sorry I was gone so long, you guys. Okay, let me find a real yucky one, and then I'll continue, because there's a lot of these. Ooh. Ew. These are all yucky. Ooh. An entire family was killed, with the exception of the second youngest child, female, age 5, who was abducted. The bodies of the parents and 2 other children were found in the basement of their house. Each had at least one limb pulled off by brute force before stabbing precisely 39 times with an unknown... Ah! Oh no! I forgot about the effect thing. What? Are you guys still there? You forgot to connect to the internet this whole time? Sadly. 39 times? Oh, here, let me turn the effect back on. Wait, which one is it? Which one? Spooky. There we go. Okay. Back to the spookiness. They got me! Is it really me? Maybe I'm just that SCP that likes to watch spooky movies can transform into anything. Stabbed precisely 39 times with an unknown sharp implement, possibly a piece of bone from one of the removed limbs, resulting in massive blood loss and death. The family members had then been eviscerated and their small and large intestines removed and cut into 30 to 50 centimeter long pieces. Thank you for the sub, Manny. It's an interesting time to sub, though. Talking about the intestines. These had been arranged in radiating lines around the bodies. Feces from the intestines had been used to trace symbols of unknown meaning on the walls of the basement. Yucky! One sec. Yeah, nothing good can come from that, huh? Oh, sorry. Oh, instances recovered. Oh, these are the presents he gave. Okay. A small wooden drum with 2 wooden drumsticks of uneven length. Drum skin consists of a 390 centimeter cubed piece of skin belonging to a human child, stretched with thread made from human tendons. A small knife, 15 centimeters in length. Blade is 6 centimeters in length. Sculpted from a single piece of bone belonging to a human child. Symbols of unknown meaning have been carved into the handle. A flute made from the hollowed out femur of a human child. Holes have been bored at uneven intervals along its length. The femur appears to have been dyed with human blood. A wooden box containing 13 miniature human-like figurines, each 4 to 6 centimeters in height, made from the phalangeal bones of human children. Tied together, it's not funny, tied together with strips of human tendon. The figurines have been decorated with human hair and small pieces of torn clothing. DNA testing revealed that the remains belong to 18 separate children. A ball 23 centimeters in diameter, made from 19 layers of human skin, wrapped tightly around the desiccated head of an unidentified human child, male, age 2 to 3. Layers of skin are held in place with pine resin. A hairbrush. The handle is made of wood and poorly carved. In place of bristles, 43 deciduous human teeth have been set at irregular intervals into the handle. DNA testing revealed that each tooth belongs to a different child. Only 2 of the teeth could be matched to known abduction victims of SCP-4666. Teeth vary in age from a few days to over 400 years. Ooh, there's a lot left. SCP's existence and ongoing activity were first detected in 1974 through the Foundation's newly implemented Anomalous Signature Recognition Program, when several highly similar home invasion incidents resulting in family deaths were found to have occurred throughout the Northern Hemisphere during the night of January 1 to 2. Extensive research into civilian and law enforcement archives worldwide eventually uncovered evidence of probable Weissnacht events for every preceding year going back to the late 18th century. Numerous historical documents were also found which appear to describe SCP activity occurring prior to this period, in some cases as early as the 2nd century AD in Europe and Russia, and as early as the 1st century BC in Scandinavia. Fingerprints belonging to the same humanoid entity have been discovered at all the locations of all Foundation investigated Weissnacht events. These have been matched to a partial fingerprint found preserved in dried blood on a recovered SCP instance dating from 1873. The fingerprints recovered from the locations of the fingerprints present characteristics not known to occur in human beings. Ooh. Human-like white hairs were also recovered from the locations of several Weissnacht events, though no DNA, human or otherwise, could be extracted from them. Eee. What else is there? Oh, interview log. Oh yes, let's do that. Okay. There's a known abduction. Ooh. Who did they interview? A Katarina Morozova. She was an abduction victim. Oh, okay, let me read this part. Oh, what the heck? Okay. On February 1st, 2018, or maybe it's January 2nd, several SCP-A instances were discovered at a family's residence in Hoonah, Alaska, following the conclusion of Weissnacht Event 060198. Among these instances was SCP-A-0960, which consisted of a crude, life-sized doll made from the emaciated body of a female child, to which the following modifications had been made. A dress made from various pieces of dirty, discolored clothing had been sewn around the body, and in several places into the body's skin. The mouth had been sewn shut with thread made from human tendons, and the lips painted red with a solution consisting primarily of human blood. The fingernails of another child had been glued over the body's fingernails with pine resin. These had been painted red with the same human blood-based solution. 3 of the body's fingers were missing. The entire scalp had been removed from the head, and the scalp of another child with long blonde hair sewn onto the head in its place. The hair had been tied into 2 braids. Both eyes had been removed, and 2 large round pebbles, on which eyes had been crudely painted, placed into the empty orbits. Upon examination by the family, the child from whom the doll had been made was found to be still alive, albeit unconscious. Authorities were notified, and the child was airlifted to Bartlett Regional Hospital in Juneau, Alaska, where she survived for 18 hours. 2 Foundation agents were dispatched, and were able to interview the subject. Following the subject's death, her body was confiscated by the agents and all witnesses amnesticized as per standard procedure. Amnesticized. It's hard to say that word. DNA testing revealed the subject had been Ekaterina Morozova, age 7, a known abduction victim of SCP taken from her family's residence in Dubovka, Russia, on 2 years ago. Autopsy of the subject's body showed she had been severely malnourished during the 2 years following her abduction, which had resulted in considerable stunting. Weight was only 15 kilograms, height was only 90 centimeters. A number of scars and burns were present on her skin, and she had suffered 2 bone fractures, left tibia and left ulna, that had not been reset and had healed improperly. Hands were heavily calloused. Cause of death was attributed to multiple organ failure, resulting from severe, sustained malnourishment. This is the interview. January 2nd, 2018. Bartlett Regional Hospital. Agent Antony Kowalski, I don't know how to say that. Susan Muse attending. Ekaterina Morozova, female, age 7. The subject regained consciousness for a period of roughly 30 minutes prior to expiring, during which she was interviewed. Hospital staff had previously removed the thread that had been sewn into her lips, allowing her to speak. Despite having been administered a morphine drip, the subject was largely coherent throughout the interview. The subject did not understand English and initially only spoke a language that was unfamiliar to agents. I don't know how to say his name. I'm gonna look up. How do you say this? Pronounce. How do you pronounce? Where? Pronounce. I thought Google usually had like a little thingy that says it. Kowalczyk? Kowalczyk. Okay, Kowalczyk. Agents Kowalczyk and Muse. I totally said his name wrong then. However, after several minutes, the subject began addressing the agents in Russian, which she spoke poorly. Agent Kowalczyk, who spoke rudimentary Russian, was able to conduct the interview without the need for an interpreter. Hello, I'm Antony. What's your name? Or, are you going to take me back to him? No, I promise. I'm just here to talk to you. I don't want to go back. You don't have to. You're safe now, Mishka. Can you tell me what happened to you? Do you remember the night he came to your house? I remember he hurt Mama and Papa and Katya and Yuliana for a long time and they were bleeding. After they stopped screaming, he put me in his bag. His bag? He had a big bag. Other children were in the bag too. I think we go to each other's houses. I hear people screaming outside the bag all during the night. Each house he put another child in the bag. Then after the night, he'd take us away. Where did he take you? Underground. Deep. Underground? You mean in a basement? Deep. Everything earth and mud and ice, bones everywhere, everything cold. I can't sleep because it's too cold. Were there lots of other children there with you? Lots of children. Lots of tunnels, lots of holes, but I can't see all. I can't see the other unknown word. Too dark. My hole is with Renee and Hekla and Sasha and Paul. We make the toys together. The toys? If you don't make the toys, you don't eat. Don't stop making the toys. Don't fall asleep or he hurt you. He hurt you? How? He hit you or he burn you or he bite off your fingers or he cook you on the fire in his room and eat you. He eat Felipe and Sally. Philippe, maybe. What about you? How did this happen to you? Did he do this? Renee and Hecla and Sasha and Paul do this. They have to. Why? I get sick. When you can't make the toys, you become the toys. That's a little Nightmare Before Christmas moment for you. Here are some footnotes. Analysis of recovered police photographs has shown that the size, shape, and configuration of SCP teeth do not match those of a human being or any known animal. Also known as ASRP, this program marked the Foundation's first use of algorithms as a means of detecting anomalous phenomena. Recordings of this interview are currently being studied by the Department of Linguistics, as the language spoken by the subject was later found to match no known language, living or dead. Early indications are that it may be related to pre-Proto-Germanic. Ooh. Nice. Creepy. Thank you guys for coming to this spooky stream. It is late, and I probably already should have went to sleep. But it was fun to read the creepy, spooky scaries. Evil Santa. Weissnacht means white night. Yeah. It reminds me of Walpurgisnacht in Madoka. Evil Santa takes kids as his own presents. I think he gives the presents back out. It's like the circle of life. The presents become presents for other kids who become presents later, you know? It's very creepy scary. I don't like the things happening to the children's. That's sad. Yeah, it's like Krampus. We're all the presents. You guys are all presents to me. Yeah, but thank you guys for coming back. I know I was on a break for a while, so I'm glad to see you guys again. And let's see if we can find somebody else to raid, okay? Who is doing spooky scaries? Ooh. Also, do you guys have anybody you'd like to raid? I would be willing to look. Yeah, sorry, Broly. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. Maybe there's like a just chatting. Spooky scary. I don't think anybody is doing necessarily what I have been doing. But maybe there's a spooky scary event happening. Spooky scary events. Does everyone say spooky scary? Alright, let's go raid. Let's go. Oh! Bob is playing the RV game. I want to play that game sometime. Let's go raid Bob. Ah! It wouldn't let me mute it. Okay. Raid. Raid. Will I wear a costume? I didn't have time to wear a costume. Also, I would never be a spider. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I ever be a spider? That seems kind of crazy to want to be a spider. I don't know who would ever be a spider. It's one and done? Okay. Yeah, sometime I want to try to play the RV game. Yeah, you guys also have a spooky, scary Halloween. I don't know what I'm doing on Halloween. I might just give the candies out. But I don't know. Maybe I could stream something. I'll see what I'm doing, okay? But yeah. I love you guys! I'm sorry I scared you at the beginning. Okay, peace!